Alrighty then. Looks like we're up and running here. So let's go ahead and go to our live and change some of our stuff and do the things that we have to do to get things ready. I can't believe it's the 25th of January. Holy crap, time really seems to be flying lately. Also, time seems to be not flying. Sometimes I wake up and I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it's this day. And then I realize that like 3 days ago, in this case 5 days ago, it was like January 20th. I feel like that was so long ago, but it really wasn't. I don't know what's going on. Hey, what's up, Clint? What is up? I am glad to have you here for however long you're gonna be here. Let's see, settings. Gotta change the settings. That's what we gotta do. Gotta change the setting. Every single time. Ba-ba-da-ba. Quality. Save-o. We're gonna get these settings saved and then we're gonna pop out. I've read 3 gotchas. We're not gonna actually raise them today because I won't want to stay in render of them until I get some free time tonight while y'all aren't around. How were the stats on your baby kaiju? It got the health stat. It did not get my good melee stat, but it did get my good health stat. So, baby kaiju gonna be balling out of control. It is gonna take forever to raise, though. I had it raising all night last night, and we only got to like 3%, almost 4%, I think. Yeah, something like that. It was a fucking nightmare. Also, I want to see. This thing is gonna take like 10 years to raise. 10 years. 10,000 years will give you such a crick in the neck. I don't understand why this creature isn't ever gathering anything. Why aren't these... Oh, maybe they don't have any food. That's the problem. And so he's just eating all of my... Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. We figured it out. I was gonna do a thing. Oh, right. We need to get... some of these. And let's go pop out these gotchas. And I just want to see what they're gonna have. So, gotcha. Accept. And production, we got oil, silica pearls, metal, wood. So some really basic stuff, but it's not bad. Let's go ahead and rename this one. We're gonna name this one silica oil. So those are the two things I'll probably care the most about it. It's taking like a little less than an hour a percent. So it's gonna be probably 70 hours to get it raised. Which is absolutely fucking insane. which we're on 2.5 times rates. So, like, I wouldn't even want to raise this stupid thing. Oh, we got twins. That's nice. Let's see, we got organic polysilica. Okay, we're going to call this one polysilica. And then, does this one have the exact same stuff? No, it doesn't. We're going to call this one sap and gas. Sap and gas balls. 3 to 7 days, depending on if you just raise it when online. Yeah, no, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And if we were on 1x rates, it really would be a week. Which I couldn't do. I refuse. We'll raise all these babies later. I didn't realize yesterday, so people had told me that I just need to render the babies, and they'll just eat air for the gotchas. But I didn't realize that they meant I have to keep them rendered, and they'll just eat air. The gas balls, silica, metal. This one's actually pretty decent. We'll call this one gas ball silica. So you actually have to keep them rendered in order for them to eat the air and keep their food up. You can't just wait for them to grow when you render them. They'll keep losing food when they're not rendered, but they won't eat. And so they'll just die. So I got all 4 or 5 of my babies killed last night because I went to go tame some pegos for adults. And then it all went to shit. But I do have pegos for my adults now, so let's still on here. I just sworn I left my RG out here. Nope, looks like I didn't. Well then. Can I use photo mode to not have to get off of here? Yeah, so there's my 2 dudes in their pego. That's one of the black pearls and one of the crystals. And then I've got oil and silica pearls over here. Yeah, I think that's what I'm running right now. Just for grins. Put this in here. And we can use that. And let's see. Let's go run the drops in the desert cave real quick. Since I have my Ice Kitty out. I honestly didn't make very many plans for today. I probably need to do a little bit of stone farming. And I should probably go ahead and whack some more lampposts, and that'll take a while. But after that, maybe we start working on getting um, when will transfers open? So somebody was saying yesterday that on Aberration, the transfers only opened a few days before the temporary servers disabled. So it'll be sometime toward the end of February, which is actually pretty concerning to me because we're supposed to get Astreaos, which is supposed to be coming to the official server clusters on the 12th of February. So my concern is that we're going to have two maps running at the same time that don't have transfers open. And also because Astreaos is launching at only 35% completion, I feel like the goal here is to create a bunch of FOMO for people who maybe would normally wait, because, you know, the most fun time on a new map, or at least the most active time on a new map, is during that time when people are trying to like claim servers. And so you really want to be a part of that, right? It's really fun to be on those servers and to get to do some of that early game fighting and stuff. And so I really don't know. I don't know what they're thinking with this Astreaos launch, honestly. I'm pretty upset about it. We've never had in the past where we had two servers that had their locked servers at the same time. We've never had two different maps launch this closely together. Um, you know, you need time for those things. You need, like, this is an important part of ARK's clusters, their permanent clusters, right? People need to be able to fight over these servers and, you know, try and find their place or whatever. I don't know. I think it was definitely already mishandled. And I'm not terribly thrilled about it. Did I already get three of these? I think I already got three of these. Also, what's the button that I pressed here? There we go. Well, none of that's really useful at all, is it? Yeah, so I really don't know what their plan is. Maybe they're going to say that they're going to put out Astreaos on the 12th, and maybe it'll get pushed back until like next month or something, because, you know, they never really hit a deadline. So maybe we can look forward to that as a bonus. But yeah, the whole thing seems a little crazy to me, and I want to buy the map because like it's super cool. And the person who made it makes really good maps. And apparently the 35% that's complete is already bigger than the island. So it's kind of a full map already. And it looks like it's going to be the biggest map ever. And so, like, I'm okay with that. But adding it, I'm really upset that they're adding it to the official network before 100% completion. How many people are playing on the server you're in consistently? About 10 to 15. When it gets really late at night, because this is an NA server. So when it gets really late at night, usually it's only about 4 or 5. But during like regular times, it's about 10 to 15. And it was about 35 when the server launched. But I went to a temporary server. The full servers that are still going to be here after um, that are still going to be here after the transfers open that aren't temporary servers were all capped. They all had 70 people, and that's why I didn't go to them. Was I didn't want to deal with the capped servers. There was no way that as a solo I was going to be able to hold off, 70 people from my base locations. It just wasn't feasible. But we had quite a bit of fun. The first 2 weeks, everything was pretty active. I was getting murked kind of all over the place. Once Extinction opens, I feel like a lot of people are going to Extinction. We'll just try and raid everyone. Yeah, I mean, that's usually what happens. Is, people create outposts and stuff. They try and take over these servers. Um, Either it's an already established tribe looking for a new server to control, or it's a tribe that maybe got wiped out of their old server who was trying to take the opportunity of, no transfers to try and reestablish themselves on a new server. And so these servers tend to have less defenses than, like, say, if you were trying to take over an island server that had been owned by somebody for, the last 6 months or something. And so that's usually what happens is people try and raid out these servers um, after the transfers open. Apparently, that's not really something that happens. I thought it was going to happen on this server, but somebody was telling me yesterday that because this is a temporary server, um, something that happens sometimes is that people get caged and then kept on the server until the server disappears. And then when the server disappears, their character disappears. So people don't really like coming to these temporary servers because they're afraid that they're going to get caged and then not be able to leave and lose their whole character. Which honestly is something I'm concerned about. So I was going to stick around through the entire thing, but I don't think I'm going to anymore. Because that doesn't sound like fun to me. I don't want to lose my character. Well, you still able to upload your items and characters? Yeah, I can upload. I can take stuff off of this server. I just can't bring stuff onto this server. So before transfers open, I'll probably go ahead and bail. I don't want to deal with potentially losing my character. Which is really too bad, because I was hoping for some PvP, but I'll just have to go transfer to another Extinction server or something like that to get some PvP in. And that's probably just what I'll do, is, get a new base on another server, and then I'll just go PvP other people on other servers. Because that'll just be more fun. Um, Actually, before we do this, let's go ahead and go get our Dreadnoughtus baby. We need to go ahead and get that thing thrown out because I can't just raise it while I'm off stream. I'm gonna need to raise it while I'm on stream because otherwise it's just gonna take too long to raise, and I don't want to deal with that. So let's get the baby out. We'll raise the gotchas off stream because they're not necessarily as important. But we don't want to do that. Peace. So we'll throw the RG out here. We'll wait to be able to throw the Dreadnoughtus out. I should have quite a few berries still. We'll do another berry run here in a little while. This Dreadnoughtus can hold quite a few berries, but these Dreadnoughtuses, they friggin' eat. Holy crap, I went through, to get to like 4%, I went through a whole trough yesterday. So I still got 2 mostly full troughs here. So that'll be fine for a little while. But at least one time today, we're gonna have to... Hey, what's up, Detection? Yeah, I'm gonna start trying to make this the thing. Because if I start streaming, it's 3 o'clock my time. If I start streaming at 3 o'clock my time, then 11 is an 8-hour stream, which means I can get to bed a little earlier. It also means that I won't be streaming into the night when people around me are trying to sleep. Even though I talk pretty quietly, you know, the walls in my house are a little thin, so yeah, this is normally when I was streaming when I first started on ARK. But I just, because I get so hype after streams, I end up staying up really late and having a hard time falling asleep. That my schedule just kind of starts to shift because I don't know. I've been, you know, a performer all my life. I've done lots of theater and stuff like that, and all the time it's just always been that way for me. Where, really, um, just whenever you complete a performance, just get this urge to stay up. 2:30 for me. I'm glad it's a bit earlier because I have to go in a couple of hours. Yeah, this will pretty much try and continue to be our schedule, Clint. We'll try and be going from 4:30 Eastern, or 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific. Is going to be trying to be my start time from now on. And then we'll head into, you know, midnight, or what is it, 8 Pacific? Yeah, no, midnight or 9 Pacific will be our end time. If we don't end a little earlier than that. Because I may end a little earlier than that, because sometimes I only stream for like 6 hours instead of 8. But hopefully this will mean more 8-hour streams. I think it's just generally a better time for everybody. It catches those folks who are trying to watch at work and maybe are watching like at the end of their shift. You know, because the second half of the workday always sucks. And then it catches those folks who want to watch or have something on in the background while they're playing. I think it's just overall a good time to stream. Maybe bring in some new folks like we did yesterday. We got a whole lot of new folks in yesterday. It was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. I am seriously mad that this isn't something I started doing a long, long time ago. Right after I got out of the Navy, streaming kind of started being a big thing. This is easily something I could have transitioned into doing back then. And based on how much I enjoy it, it's been a lot of fun. But we're doing it now, so good. I'm just waiting for this 5 minute cryo timer so I can throw this Dreadnoughtus out, and then we'll feed the Dreadnoughtus up a little. And then I guess we actually have to go over here to throw the Dreadnoughtus out. We can throw it up from down here, and it'll pop out. Boop. And we'll just get it to follow us back over this way. Come on, you enormous, ridiculous thing. Look at him. He's goofy as hell. And this thing will hold like tons of stacks of berries. It's ridiculous how much this Dreadnoughtus can hold. Absolutely fudging ridiculous. Alright, baby. Let's pack you full of berries. I should be able to go for quite a while without really having to come and worry about this thing. Right, it's 4.2%. We're 4 hours in. So yeah, it's getting a little less, or it's getting a little more than 1% per hour. So we need to keep this thing out as much as possible, even if it means going on berry runs 3 or 4 times a day and filling up those 4 troughs. But now we're just going to fly ourselves right back over to our other base. We're going to gather up some stone. We need a lot of stone because we need a lot of spark powder so we can get a lot of gunpowder so we can make a lot of bullets. We're also going to need to do a chitin run today. So chitin and stone are pretty much the only things on the menu for today. We have quite a bit of poly. I guess we may do some obsidian, but primarily stone and chitin are going to be our focus today because we need the CP to make turrets, and we need the gunpowder to make bullets. We've got a mess ton of metal. We've got quite a bit of electronics. We've got quite a bit of poly. So really it's just stone and chitin that we're missing. And then we'll be good to go. Be really good to go. Very excited to make a bunch of turrets. I'm excited to maybe secure this other base a little better in the center. If we can get, 30 or 40 turrets made in the next day or two, then that would be pretty great. How much spark powder and flint do I have? I don't know, maybe 10 or 15k. I don't actually know off the top of my head. I'll have to go check. I have a lot of charcoal. Um, so I need to get the stone so I can make more spark powder. And so I can make more flint. Crystal Isles is busted for charcoal and silica. Oh yeah, absolutely. I can't wait until Crystal Isles comes back out. I love Crystal Isles. It's one of my favorite maps. It's so pretty there. So pretty there. There aren't really a lot of great solo base locations though. On ASC I'd get around 200k silica. Oh yeah. I mean with nothing but a whip. Like Crystal Isles was busted for silica pearls. Absolutely busted. Most important thing about Crystal Isles, though, was it just made it so much easier to get a wyvern. And for solos, I think that's just pretty important. Um, there are some players out there who are really good. And if you're pretty experienced, it's not so hard to go get yourself a wyvern egg and get it raised up. But do you have meat on you? Do you have meat on you? Let's just eat some raw meat. And let's get us some stone. My neighbor's dog won't stop friggin' barking. I hate my neighbor so much. They are my least favorite person. Mostly because they treat their dog like doo-doo. Leave it outside. Nobody ever interacts with it. Ever seen them take it for a walk? Sits out there and barks. And annoys the ever-loving crap out of me. Right. Peace. Thank you. Whacking rocks. Whacking rocks. Getting stone. Whacking rocks. Please go forward. Did I just... I had a neighbor once and they treated their dog terrible. I live in Arizona. It was in the summer. He was tied up in a 10-foot radius, no water. Oh, gosh. One day I tried giving the dog food and water, but the owner just yelled at me to get off his property. What a dick. Should have Jack Reachered him. Actually got dog to a foster. Oh, that's good. Good job. Yeah, I don't think this dog isn't fed and stuff. It looks healthy enough. It's not tied up in the yard. Right? It's got free reign. Um So I don't think that there's any technically like legal neglect going on, but the dog obviously isn't getting to expend all of its energy. So, like somebody's not playing with it, training it well, or taking it on walks and stuff like that. And so it just expends that energy that it's not getting to use on all those things that a dog should normally be taken to do by barking incessantly in my backyard or in the neighbor's backyard, right next to my backyard. And so it annoys the crap out of me. I don't like it. I guess technically there are ordinances against like barking dogs and stuff, but I think those are stupid. And I would never like call animal control or something on somebody over something as simple as that. Like it's a dog, it barks, but I would like to see them take a little bit better care of it so it didn't necessarily feel the need to bark all the time. After I got out of the Navy, I was staying with my dad for a little while, and him and his wife went on vacation with their kids, and I was watching the dogs. And the dogs are normally really, really good about staying in the backyard. But while they were gone, there was another dog prowling around the neighborhood, and just generally being a menace and like attacking people. So one of their dogs got out to go chase it off because they had a really low fence. Like it's like a knee high fence in their backyard, but the dogs never left. And so one of their dogs got out to go chase off this other dog, and somebody called animal control. My parents, and I was the only one at home. And I was able to like prove because the dog was out when animal control got there. And so I called its name and it came back and it ran and it jumped right back in the yard. And I told it to stay there and it sat. And I mean, it's really, really well behaved. But I got threatened with getting the ticket myself if the dog got out again because I was the one at the house at the time. I was super annoyed because it wasn't even really their dog that was the problem. It was some other random, like, stray. But I would never want to do that to somebody else, especially if I didn't talk to them first. Like, I haven't gone and spoken with my neighbors about their dog personally because it's not enough of a problem for me to want to actually have to interact with another person. Um, but like nobody came and said anything to me. Like somebody just called animal control. Oh, bear, come talk to me. I'm a nice person, I swear. How was my time in the Navy? It was easily the worst decision I've ever made in my entire life. Me and the Navy didn't really get along. I just didn't do well with the because I said so attitude. Um, I don't mind taking instruction or even orders. The problem is that in the Navy, they don't do a very good job of making it so that the person giving the orders is the smartest person in the room. And it's real hard to be forced to do something the dumb way because the person in charge of you has their head up their ass. But there's no wiggle room in the Navy for talking things out, right? It's very, and I understand why it's that way, right? In a legitimate wartime situation, there's no time to be asking questions and debating about best practices, but they take that ideology way too far, in my opinion, and it goes to the heads of a lot of the people in charge. And so we just did not get along. I did my 6 years and I dipped. Um, my dad was in the Navy, so I guess part of that. Also, I really like boats. I really like the water. I'd like to live on a boat, honestly. One of these days, I'll probably buy myself a boat and live on it. Give me some of that satellite internet. Go live in the middle of the ocean. Like I swam in high school and I just like the water. There's these YouTubers who travel the world living on their boat. Me and my dad met them in Mexico one time. Gave them stuff to help them on their journey. I love watching YouTube videos of people who live in vans and travel, or people who live in boats and travel and stuff like that. I watch a lot of that content. Very interesting to me. I very much like the idea of a nomadic lifestyle. Originally, I kind of wanted to live in a van just because I think the van itself is cheaper to, purchase and maintain. But I don't really like driving. So that kind of upended that for me. Me and driving don't really get along. But I love that stuff. I love those nomadic lifestyle contents. That's one of the things that makes me so interested in streaming is as good as mobile internets and stuff are getting. There's a real possibility to be able to continue to stream even if I don't have a permanent address. Right? Like I could get some Starlink on a van, and as long as I paid attention to where I was parking, I might be able to stream doing something like that, or even over a really good 5G connection. Well, your dream might come true. A lot of car business are going to try and implement Elon's FSD in their cars. Yeah, I would love to be able to do something like that. Like I said, I would prefer to go ahead and do it on a boat. I don't I don't like the idea of driving a car, especially not a car that has all my stuff in it. I've pretty much wrecked every vehicle I've ever owned, so I probably shouldn't be allowed to drive. I could see myself living off the coast, just anchor up in a little bay somewhere, take the dinghy into town every week or so, stock up on supplies, and then just go out, hang out on my boat. Maybe take it across an ocean every now and then. Go be in a port somewhere else. I don't even really have a desire to go and like necessarily visit other countries and like go meet people and stuff. But I'd like to sail around and go see, what there is to see nature-wise on the different coasts across the world. Like just go be ported on my boat and just look, you know? I've seen a lot of the nature that's available here in the United States. Are you scared of sharks and stuff if you were to go scuba? Nah, not really. I mean, I'm not really interested in scuba diving. But also, sharks don't want to attack you most of the time. Can you get into a bad situation and get attacked by a shark? Absolutely. But that's true of every animal on Earth ever. And animals are animals, and the simplest way to protect yourself in the animal world is to beat the ever-loving snot out of something else. So, I mean, a cow will attack you if you spook it. A horse will attack you, and I've had horses. I've been around livestock animals in my life. You know, there are enormous land creatures that are just as dangerous, if not more dangerous, than sharks are. Just because, a shark is only going to attack you if it has a reason to want to eat you. It's not afraid of you. It's the apex predator of the ocean. The shark isn't like running around being scared of stuff. So honestly, I think you're typically in more danger from prey animals because they are naturally afraid, and that fear causes them to be pretty unpredictable. And predator animals tend to be much more predictable. And so as long as you don't look like something they want to eat, you're fine. Or don't do something that triggers well-known predatory instincts. We need to move some of this. Doesn't necessarily all stay over here. Yeah, we had a couple of snakes growing up. Um, we used to have a king snake that my mom rescued from the side of the road. She was driving home from work one day, and there was this king snake in the middle of the road. And so my mom jumped out of her car and scooped it up off the street and brought it home. And we raised a king snake. It lived in a little aquarium in our house, actually in our bedroom, for years and years and years. But yeah, I'm with you. Snakes are super cool. Snakes are real fun. Because I grew up in the desert, we had rattlesnakes. My mom was a kid. She used to have an iguana and a boa constrictor. My dad made her give them away when they got me. Oh, that's no fun. That's no fun. I think reptiles make great pets. They really do. Great pets. Hey, what's up, Twisty? I'm having a great day. How are you? How's your night going? Hmm. You know what I just realized is I don't have any charged batteries. Oh me, oh my. At the same time, my dad also owned a bird. She would probably still be alive to this day, but sadly she died of lung disease. Oh, that sucks. I'm sorry, Clint. Just finished on Rust for the night. Time to lay down. Nice. How'd you do on Rust? Did you, raid some nerds and steal some stuff? End of wipe. Just grabbing BPs before force wipe. Okay. She was a cool pair too. Whenever the phone rang, she said, "For Mark?" It's my dad's name. That's funny. That's real funny. I have an uncle who had a parrot when I was a little kid. They're pretty silly. Yeah, we're gonna do a little farming. Um, we're raising up that dreadnought baby that I got, and we're gonna be trying to make a bunch of turrets and stuff like that. Over today and tomorrow, I would like to get maybe 30 or 40 turrets made, and as much ammo as I can possibly make made. Yeah, I got a 130 Dreadnoughtus yesterday that I tamed on a 25k Ellie node. So it came out as a 172. And then I already had that low level, that level 25, that I had previously tamed the male on a super small one, 10k node. And so I bred them together. I got my good health stat, but I didn't get my high level melee stat, which is kind of too bad, but I think it'll be alright. But they've got 144,000 health is their base health stat. And the baby came out male too. So yeah, yeah, it's pretty great. We did some stuff with them last night. For the last couple of hours of stream, we were kind of running around on the Dreadnoughtus, trying to do stuff like drops and stuff like that. And you can definitely kill all the creatures for a high tier Elevane or a high tier drop with the Dreadnoughtus by itself. But you can't really avoid hitting the drop or the Ellie vein. And so it kind of is impossible to do drops and Ellie veins with them, which is really too bad. But maybe we'll be able to do like one of the Gamma bosses, one of the Gamma Titans with it. I don't know. We'll see. It's got some cool little attacks and stuff, though. I like it. Ooh, tier 3 fatty. Oh, no. I thought there was a battery in there. Cannonball attack, one hit KO, rock elementals. Does it really? Interesting. Interesting. I might need to tame some rock elementals then. That might be a good thing to do later today. Yeah, let's get some farming done, and then let's see about trying to find a high-level rock elemental. I could get behind that. I could get behind that. Yeah, I saw a little about using the cannons to tame the Titan. But I didn't really watch the whole video, just saw a little blurb. But I think it was Raz Clark or something put out a video about it. That's pretty exciting. That's pretty exciting. No, I have not tamed the Desert Titan yet. I've actually never tamed the Desert Titan. I don't even know how to tame the Titans, honestly. Never looked it up. It's never really been something that's been interesting to me. Oh, really? Well, I have a bunch of Quetzals. Yeah, because I play solo, it's just always one of those things that I've worried would just get countered if I tried. Fly under the wing and the Titan will lightning its own nodes. Oh, nice. That's hilarious. What am I here for? I'm here for a battery. Do I even have any batteries anymore? This is sad. Oh, hey, I have a battery with a charge. Falling out of control over here. Oh yeah, absolutely. Great for OSDs and veins for sure. Sure, you could easily do a 25k vein just with that. The only reason I wouldn't try and do a 50k with it um, is because it just does too much. They do too much damage to the node, probably. Don't forget raiding the high up sanctuary bases. Oh yeah. Time consuming, but nothing insane compared to the other Titans. Extremely easy. Interesting. I may have to find out if there's a day where nobody plans on having the Titan. Maybe I can sneak in there and get it. Get around to it, tame it. It's really fun. Yeah, we might do that. We might do that. I mean, it'd be a great way for me to go ahead and rock out some OSDs and some Ellie veins, just to make sure that I had, all of those resources that I need. If I could manage to get even like a red OSD, that'd be really great. Yeah, Cav Soup VP from Purple with the Desert. Oh, dang. Good for you. That's what's up. Alright, let's go get our double slack appetite in here. Yeah, Megatherium's gotta level up. Boom, 15 more levels into melee. What's up, what's up? Quick hitting. Health frail. Weight robust. Well, y'all are all useless. I'm gonna need these Ankies to start being mineral bearing. Can you please? Just be the thing I need. Holy shiznit. Yeah, I've honestly never used anything but a prim suit my entire life. Never had a suit BP. The struggles of playing solo on small tribes and being bad at the video game. I've never had a mech. Need to get a mech. Yeah, but that's because even an incremental increase in their stats and stuff is a huge deal. Honestly, probably should have gone back over and checked the berries before coming over here and doing this. Of that Dreadnoughtus. I definitely don't want to get my Dreadnoughtus killed. I don't know if it is, Twisty. It is not currently on the map. Remember the first time I made a Mega Mechanic and fought the King Titan? Felt like Pacific Rim. Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure. The Not Tamed, Summon and Tame. Like I said, we might give that a try. I just want to make sure that I'm not stepping on anybody's toes on the server. Because as a solo and with a relatively weak base right now, I've just kind of been relying on the fact that nobody's really fighting as my protection. So my base isn't really in a great spot. So if I go pissing somebody off, then they're just going to come wipe my base and then I lose everything. So I need to make sure that, somebody else isn't taming it on a schedule or whatever before I go doing anything like that and get myself into trouble. Once you tame it, I doubt anyone will do anything, but it will definitely make them on edge. Right, exactly. I mean, all it takes is somebody to be like, oh, I wanted to tame it, F this kid, and then come kill me. People wipe bases over petty shit sometimes. Somebody just has to be in a petty mood and be like, okay, I'm gonna nuke this dude. And since I don't have another base right now, that's a pretty big problem for me. Would they think you're gonna raid with it? Yeah, or something like that. I don't think they would do that. Um, I don't think they would think that. I haven't given anybody any reason to think that. And the Titan on this server gets tamed a lot. People just run around doing bosses and or run around doing veins and OSDs and stuff. So I don't think I'm really in danger of somebody like freaking out, like, "Oh my god, he's gonna kill us all." But there is a chance that somebody would be like, "It was my turn," and then get mad, and then fuck my shit up. The Desert Titan would make the one sanctuary base you showed me a few days ago really easy to raid. Like you said, no shit where you ate. Yeah. Yeah, for sure, for sure. All of those are also not. My teammate got clipped messing around. What do you mean got clipped? Like somebody killed him? Most of those bases that are super high up and stuff, though, Clunt, are not actually bases. They're just places for people to use cloning chambers and stuff. Most of the bases on this server are down in the rat holes and stuff. Using cheats, making swastikas with lightning. Cool. Super cool. Your friend is a dick. What a stupid thing to do. I'm gonna assume he's like 15 and an idiot. Wasn't tribed with us. He was in cheater tribe. Banned and dev. Well, good. Well, good. Get for cheating. One of them was tribe leader on my island, though, so we gotta demo everything and rebuild in a new tribe. No kidding. Huge pain in the ass. Yeah, that sucks. That's booty cheeks. That's what happens though, is people like that don't realize the effect they're having on other people's gameplay. Like, so what? I don't care if I get banned, I do what I want. Yeah, but if you get banned, then what am I supposed to fuck? That's booty cheeks. Sorry that happened to you. Oh, your tribe leader wasn't actually cheating. He just happened to be in the tribe. Well, that's even worse. I mean, you can't really know what the people in your tribe are doing all the time, though. I'm sure I've been in groups with people in, like Call of Duty and stuff that were cheating, or get in Apex Legends and you end up in a group with somebody who's cheating. I understand those are a little more ephemeral groups, right? You don't necessarily seek those groups out. They're all random and based on matchmaking, but even so, people can tend to keep that stuff pretty under the hat or close to the vest until they feel like they know you and like you'd be okay with it. So you can end up in a bad situation without ever actually being. Yeah, exactly. Without actually being in the know, and that's really trash. Your account not being banned is better than leaving the tribe. There should have been. Maybe. Maybe. I don't know. I imagine it's possible that I could end up in a tribe with somebody who is cheating and not know. So I give people the benefit of the doubt because I think it's possible, you know? Whether it's likely is kind of unimportant to me. If it's possible, then I think I can give the benefit of the doubt there. Now, if it happened a bunch of times, right? Like, once is an accident, twice is a coincidence, three times, you obviously know. Stop being an idiot. So many rubble golems. It was a window, but once you caught, it doesn't matter. Yeah, that's the other thing, too, is from the time where the devs are going to be considering banning you to the time when you actually get banned is usually a pretty long window, too. It could be weeks from when they, start getting reports and start the investigation until they actually hit you with the ban hammer. So even if there was, a week or two in there where you decided to quit because you knew they were cheating, you might might get blown up anyway. And and so I understand why Wildcard does it the way they do it too, right? From their perspective, giving the benefit of the doubt could be potentially dangerous and allow, people who are cheating to continue playing. So because I'm not on the enforcement side of things, I get to give people a little more of the benefit of the doubt than maybe Wildcard does, because I don't have anything to do with enforcing those rules and stuff. If I was Wildcard, then I might say, okay, you were obviously in this tribe for a really long time and they were all cheating, so we're going to assume you knew and are guilty by association. But I'm not making any of those decisions. So just as another player, I can say, okay, well, you didn't know. That's fine. If I have an opportunity to tribe with you, then maybe I still would, and not hold that against you on a player to player perspective. I don't disagree with guilty by association. Yeah, well, and it's important to maintain the integrity of the game. Now, I do think that it's better to let some people who are breaking the rules get away with it and not catch up anybody who's innocent than it is to catch up a bunch of people who are innocent in an effort to catch everybody who's breaking the rules. Right? I would rather some people get away with it than, maybe run the risk of randomly losing my account. Yeah, I've been playing with for 6 months. He got meshed twice and went rogue with cheats. Yeah, I definitely I understand that. Like I said, since I've been on ASA, I have yet to have a base raided that wasn't meshed. Every single time my bases have been destroyed, they've been meshed. Um, so I get it. I get the struggle and the frustration. But even so, I still think you gotta avoid the cheating. All all that retaliatory cheating does, I think, is create more cheaters, right? Because you're perpetuating that cycle of, somebody cheated on me, so I cheated on somebody else. But maybe the person I cheated on wasn't even cheating, and so then they cheat on somebody else because I cheated on them, right? And so it's just kind of important it's important to not be the perpetuator of that cycle. As difficult as it is to keep having people cheat to defeat you and not retaliate. I think it's important. I mean, it's like the spreading of a virus, right? If, um, if every time somebody's touched by cheating, they start cheating, then it spreads, and Wildcard can never catch up and never eliminate it. But if every time somebody gets cheated, they don't cheat, then eventually the people who are cheating will get banned. And maybe some of them make new accounts and come back and stuff like that. But there are ways to kind of track some of that stuff and make it easier to ban that person a second time. So, I mean, it really is up to us as players to just be resilient. Um, we just got to be resilient and not let that drive us to also cheat and make the game unfair. And eventually the fairness of the game will start to snap back because of the effort of the devs. Is it going to be quick? Absolutely not. Because there are lots of ways around, making new accounts and stuff like that. And there are lots of people out there who are willing to cheat. But every time somebody says, well, if everybody's going to cheat, I'm just going to cheat. Or every time people get together and say, everybody's cheating on me, so, I might as well do it because it's just going to happen to me anyway. Or, every time you convince somebody that if it's happened to you, or, it's just whatever it is. Counts $3 a pop, obviously. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But it'll slowly get itself worked out. As long as the core and the majority of the player base stay resilient to it, it'll get worked off. Well, and so I think Tarkov probably has the exact same problem that all of these other competitive games have, because the more competitive a game is, the more frequently people cheat in it. The more competitive you make a game as a player, the more likely you are to succumb to a desire to cheat if other people are cheating against you. And so, games like ARK, where you can potentially lose things and it's extremely competitive, Tarkov, extremely competitive. In those situations, you just, if you can't beat them, join them, right? That's an extremely common mentality. And it just hurts gaming overall. But I mean, it's difficult to consistently have people beating you no matter where your skill level is because of stuff like that. It's really hard not to say, well, fuck it, everybody else is doing. I mean, could you imagine, for example, if you were like playing football and everybody on both teams were taking steroids and you knew that they were taking steroids and you were just out there getting pummeled over and over and over again, but you didn't want to quit playing football? Like, would you quit or would you start taking steroids? Or even if it was 50%, 50% of the other team and 50% of your team were doing it. Or even if it was 10%, but maybe you're a wide receiver and the person guarding you is definitely taking steroids on the other team and you just keep getting creamed every time you get the ball. That's devastating. And it hurts like a motherfucker. And the rest of your team that's not taking steroids is like, just walk it off, but they're not getting hit by this guy who's built like a Mack truck moving 1,000 miles an hour, just crashing into you every time you get the ball. It's a tough situation. Ooh, there's an extra baby Anki over here that I didn't see earlier. Well, it's also totally useless. Thank you so much. If I don't kick cheaters off my server. There you go. There you go, Twisty. Keep them around just in case. Just in case you need the backup. Alright, got a dip permit, but I'll definitely be on late longer tomorrow, hopefully. Yeah. Love having you around, Clunt. Have a great night. Thanks for stopping by. Being a part of the conversation. Get you some Z's, brother. If your stream goes well, I'm sure it will. I'm sure we're going to have ourselves a good time. We might just be taming a titan today. Never know. It did say that the arena was occupied when I was down in there just now. So the Desert Titan may actually be tamed. It just might be up on the north half of the map that I can't see right now. We'll have to see. I'm definitely gonna go feed this baby Dreadnoughtus some more. And then I'm gonna go on another berry run with a big Dreadnoughtus. And then we're gonna go see about taming some rock golems with the big Dreadnoughtus. Because that sounds like a stupid amount of fun. Like a real stupid amount of fun. We'll go over here. I like to just teleport. I'm a big fan of whipping out the Dreadnoughtus. I kind of wish that we could go back to just throwing out cryopods wherever. So instead of a pocket Giga, I could just carry around a pocket Dreadnoughtus. Just drop it on people. Bam-o. Get dunked on. Now you can throw out on enemy foundations. It's slowly going back. But you could always throw out near enemy foundations. I thought you just couldn't throw out near enemy cryos. I mean, I honestly, I don't wish that it would go back. I think the change is really positive. I think just being able to throw out cryo tames anytime you want was terrible for the game. Because it made you able to be prepared for every situation all the time. And it created a much larger gaps. I didn't even like the reduction on the timer. Reduction on the cryo fridge timer. Yeah, I think that one was important for the ability to scout other maps. Because you don't want the system to be stopping people from wanting to go to other maps. Because the more difficult it is for early game players to travel to other maps, then the more likely it is that early game players are just going to end up staying on their map be in constant conflict with the other early game players on their map. And I think that would just ultimately be bad. You want every tier of player to feel like their best option for raiding in PvP is to go off world and then be mostly cordial with the people on their own map. I think, especially on small tribes. So I think maybe that reduction in the timer on the cryo fridge was okay, but I guess I haven't seen enough of what's going to happen because of it to really be able to have a position, I guess. Um, darn it. Darn it, darn it, darn it. Let's put this and this in here. Then we have... We do not have. It said Dodicarus for a minute there. I thought that said Dreadnoughtus. You can download an obelisk with no timers, so don't see the point in the time reducing. Yeah, but how many servers do you know of, especially long-time established servers, that don't have most, if not all, of the obelisks built? That just creates a situation that makes it too easy for tribes to secure the servers so that they can't be scouted. At least not very easily. I mean, it's a fine line. Like, you want to be able to put up defenses to make server more difficult to infiltrate. But also, the more you allow that to happen, the more and more difficult. Is it really? I didn't know that blocking the ob was against the TOS. Because that's like every server in the game. I don't think I've gone to a server recently that doesn't have the obs blocked. Wow. I was unaware. Because, I mean, like, Scorched Earth servers are just a nightmare for that shit. I feel like every time I go into a Scorched Earth server, I end up just, like, losing my character. Because you just can't get off unless you're willing to spend the time to make C4 them. Alright. We're gonna go... Oh, nah. Let's just get berries. Roar. Dreadnoughtus get berry. I was pissed as I lost a care to a sunset. Yeah. So that happened to me too, Twisty. My first character on Ascended was on an island server that disappeared while I was taking a break because I was mad that I got meshed. So I stopped playing, and when I came to log back in and try and find that character again, it no longer existed. I was less than thrilled. Yeah, see, so I think that's absolutely what should happen. Just auto-upload my character. It's especially important because, like you were saying, I think it was you were saying yesterday, that if you stay on a server right up until it gets deleted for these temporary servers, people might cage you to try and hang on to your server and get it, or to try and hang on to your character and get it deleted. That's terrible. Glacius, hey, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the chat. Welcome to the channel. How goes your day today? I know that name. I've seen that name. Good deal. Good deal. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people from the server have been stopping by. It's been nice. Hey, Glacius with the tier 1 sub. Thank you. Really appreciate it. Really appreciate it. You are a baller. Or as my grandfather would say, a gentleman and a scholar. Put these berries over here. Nice trade. Only just tamed my first one yesterday. Hey, that's when I got, so I got a really low level one. Like a while back, I got a little level 20 that I tamed on a 10K. But this one I just tamed yesterday also. We're actually about to go feed my baby right now. They are super dope. I'm a little sad that the taming process is broken because you literally don't have to do anything. Um, you could just let the creatures die automatically, and that kind of sucks. But it's nice for, the solo, because I definitely would not have been able to tame this on a 25k node if it hadn't been busted. So I have a much better Dreadnoughtus than I normally would. And now I've got a baby, and I'm going to get an imprinted Dreadnoughtus, and that's going to be stupid and awesome and stupid. They are wicked cool. And the babies are the most adorable, ugly things you've ever seen in your entire life. They got some big old fat tails. It's hilarious. Two and a half hours. Yeah. The egg timer is pretty short, but the grow timer is long as fuck. It's going to be like 70 hours, maybe more, to grow this thing. It's going to be crazy. Is that really the same as a Rex? You would think it'd be the same as a Giga. Because they're definitely as strong as a Giga. Things put out the deeps. And that knockback. My goodness. Them things flying. Super strong. Load them up with Tesla coils, unstoppable. I couldn't get a Tesla coil to go on mine. I was not able to place a Tesla coil on mine. Yeah, I put a foundation down. I couldn't get it on the foundation. I think that's probably what happened. I suppose we can give it another try. Maybe I did something wrong. But yeah, after you told me that, I made a regular auto turret, I made a heavy turret, I made a Tesla coil, I made a cryo fridge, I made a bunch of stuff just to see what maybe the Dreadnoughtus could carry and what it couldn't. I was unable to get it to carry the Tesla coil at all. Right. Look at this thing. Look at that tail. Got them little ass legs and that big old fat tail. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. They eat a stupid amount. Oh no. Raise one Dreadnoughtus baby. You gotta have like 16 troughs. So stupid. Oh, whoops. I accidentally accessed the bird. Alright. What is this? Oh yeah, this dude put Tesla coils all over this thing. Yeah, I definitely don't think it works anymore. Which is probably a good thing. Yeah, have fun at work, Blasius. Thank you very much for stopping by and saying what's up, and really thank you for the sub. I really appreciate that. Don't work too hard. Definitely a good thing they were broken. Yeah, I mean, obviously. Obviously they were busted. Being able to have turrets on a mobile anything is just an unholy amount of broken. Let's take these primitives out of here. Open them up, see what I get. Nice. Alright, so we'll probably need to be back in about an hour or so to top that bad boy up. Just to make sure nothing bad happens. So what do we do? Do we have stone? We do. That go in. Pull all this flint out. Teleport back over to the base and start some freaking spark powder. Ammo. We have 200 slots of spark powder in here right now? We do. Holy snap. Curved incline. I don't need cheap viewers. Get the fuck out of my chat. What a turd. Need to look at this too. This is actually ready to breed again, which I honestly cannot believe. So let's go ahead and see if I can find my other dread. I don't know where I put it. I think it might be in my rep. Oh, yep, there it is. So let's actually go throw these back out. Get them bred up again. Get ourselves another baby. What's better than one dread? Two dreads. Booyah. Oh gosh, I love these things. They're so ridiculous. Look at that mamma jamma. Why don't you go ahead and fly up here so I don't have to jump down there and die? Thanks, boo. Look at that mamma jamma. Oh yeah, that's right. We want to make some cannonballs, so let's do that while we're waiting. Because we want to see about taming up some rock golems with our enormous buddy here. Because that sounds awesome. Don't even have the Ingram. The fact that I no longer need to make a cannon is probably the dopest. We need cementing paste. Let's make up some cementing paste. Let's throw out all the spark powder here. Can't believe there's 600 slots in the makeshift Mega Lab. Totally freaking insane. We got all of this CP. Put it in there. 27k spark powder. What's up? Let's make some cannonballs. Cannonball. Yeah, boy. This is gonna be a stupid amount of fun. I'm excited to be a part of this plan. Put the cannonballs on here first because we're actually going to have to take the dread somewhere else and throw it out again. What am I? I'm going to tame some rock ellies. Because we're going to need them at some point. And because it's super cool that I can shoot them with cannonballs on the Dreadnoughtus. We got to try it out. Because it's going to be great. Does that mean that we can use the Dreadnoughtus to tame Titanosaurs? I think that's what that means. And I feel like that's kind of busted. No overland base will ever be safe again. They've put all this effort into trying to get people to make bases out in like the open world. And then they've done all of this crazy shit that basically makes it impossible. They're like, tribe towers can only be placed outside, make bases outside. And everybody was like, you just made dreadnoughtuses. Fuck you. We're not doing that. Honestly, if they make caves unbuildable, I will just start living in the upload. I'll just never even make a base. Because how are you supposed to defend a land base? Especially as a solo? Like that's just impossible. There is no way. Maybe if I had like 6 months to prepare, I could survive like a mediocre attack. Look at all them healths. 144k. Yeah, that's the other thing, is raiding is way too cheap. Yo. Good not a egg, baby. What's up? Okay, you can go ahead and stop doing whatever you're doing. Booyah. Another baby dreadnoughtus. We're actually going to take this one back. Go ahead and throw it out and set our timer here real quick. Because I want to see if it comes out with both the health and the melee stat. While the melee stat isn't terribly important, like 5c4 for a metal wall is nothing. The only way they can do that is make c4 placeable one time. Put a timer on the c4 instead of using a detonator. Yeah, I could see that being a good solution. I think so. The biggest thing to me about raiding is the value proposition, right? So most things in this game, when you make them, kind of stick around. A lot of them are transferable, right? All your bullets transferable. Any spare resources you might have transferable. Your creatures transferable through cryopods. And so the value of a raid is extremely high. And so it becomes almost impossible for the cost to ever be prohibitive. Right? You're never gonna break even on a raid. Because gathering up resources and stuff is so vital, but also is fairly easy. And so the way the game is structured, the resources you have available to take through ARB, through raw resources, through crafted materials, through BPs, through all that stuff, um, is always going to be significantly greater than the resource cost of raiding you and the time cost of raiding. Because the amount of defenses you can muster per like additional resources that you need to sort of have available doesn't really match up very well. So I think that's a big part of what hurts that stuff. You are definitely right, though. Adding additional time to a raid, not only to give people time to defend, but to also just extend the amount of time it takes to raid, is pretty important. They've done a lot. I think they've maybe gone about it the wrong way because they've done a lot of stuff that makes it easier and easier and easier to gain resources. But we can always pack more resources into our same size bases. So the easier it becomes to gain resources, ultimately, the more resources there are available per amount of defense. Right? So my defenses don't really get better based on how easy things are to raid or how easy things are to gather. Sorry. I still sort of make the same amount of defenses because your defenses are sort of based on your base, right? And so there's only so much defense you can put in a base location. And then eventually you're just gathering up resources to, you know, to move and make new bases or um, to fill out with ARB or to have backups or um, to make kits and stuff so that you can be prepared to go do raids. And all of that stuff adds up to be more value for the raider when they're still taking about the same amount of time to do the raid. And their cost for the raid is actually being decreased by the fact that you're making those resources easier to get. And so I think raiding has become more and more and more viable as the game has continued instead of less viable, even though I think they've consistently been trying to make raiding bases harder. I think they've been having the opposite impact with a lot of their changes. What they might consider, um, so right now you have PvE and PvP servers. And in PvE servers, there's no PvP unless you go into a tribe war, right? So maybe they should consider something like that for the PvP servers where you can you can always kill a player. Right? So if you see somebody out in the open world, you can just go attack them. But maybe there's no structure destruction without a formal declaration of like guild war or tribe war. Might be a good way to bring the rating in line with what I think they're maybe trying to do with it. Because I think with the changes that they've made to biopods and the fact that you just can't pocket giga or whatever any old time you want to, I actually think that the state of open world PvP is really, really good right now. I think the state, especially around like OSDs and element veins and stuff like that, I think there's a really, really positive um, a really good incentive, a really good environment for open world PvP. And I would like to see that leaned on a little more. Fixing rating would require a full rework of the rating system. It won't put that time into. I agree. I do think it would require a full. But I think that's why it would be important to have an opt-in rating system, because at least that would mean that you don't have to engage in it, and you could set things up like skirmishes and stuff much more easily, where you could just do a fob v fob thing, because if the guild or if the tribes are only existing on single servers at a time, then that tribe war happens only on the server where the war is proclaimed. So you could easily just go to a different server with an enemy tribe, and then from there do a tribe war. Just have everybody has a fob, and you just fight over some stuff just for fun. But yes, you're right. The tribe war, or the tribe system in general, the rating system in general, is just really, really broken. Right. Let's go, Dreadnought. Yeet. Somebody's driving their car like an idiot near my house. Look at this little bitty Bronto. What a itty bitty guy. And walk this dude around into the desert here. If I can't find me some golems. Get out of here. Get tail flapped. That's so much fun. Such a ridiculous thing to do. I'm trying to get me. Get tail flapped. But these are the things that make me hopeful for ARK 2. Is these have been conversations for a really long time in ARK 1. And there have been a lot of new games in this genre space over the course of the past decade. Especially recently, you've had things like Soul Mask and Pow World and some other stuff that have tried to infiltrate this genre. I don't think that's true. I I know they said there's going to be more of a story focus, but I think it's still going to be like a base building rating thing. I think they're just trying to make the storyline more interactive. But I don't think they're like giving up on the MMO aspect of ARK. That would be insane. Why would you play that? That'll be incredibly disappointing. But I think there's quite a bit of misinformation going around about that. My understanding of the stuff that I've seen and read is that there's just going to be a more interactive, almost RPG style story system instead of this like random snippet story system that we have now. All right, where's me some rock elementals? I think this is going to be harder to see than I previously anticipated too. I'd actually want to go find the rock elementals first. I need to go dive deeper, I think, into some of the ARK 2 releases, like the press releases and stuff, and see if I can't find what it is that's making people think that ARK 2 isn't going to be like a base building, raiding, PvP style game like ARK 1 is. And see if I can understand what the wording is exactly and why people are believing that. Because I will be thoroughly sad if ARK 2 doesn't end up being pretty similar to ARK 1, at least in its overall gameplay loop. I understand that they're going to make it, more of an action combat with more of a Souls-like combat system. But I don't want the core gameplay loop necessarily to change in style, even if it does change significantly in how it's executed. I wonder if you can get a Dreadnoughtus to fly by putting it on one of those geysers. So there aren't a ton of rock elementals that spawn out here. At least I don't think there are. We may actually end up having a hard time trying to find one, especially from the back of the Dreadnoughtus. This may not have been the most well thought out plan on my part. I think our best bet is going to be to look for them like really far away, because I think the creatures have a more distant spawn or render than the regular stones. But I think if we just keep our eyes kind of on the edges of our screen or the edges of our render, maybe we'll see them earlier. At least I'm hoping that's what happens. If we just see a rock out in the middle of nowhere, we'll know. Really? You thought that was a good idea? You thought you should attack the enormous Dreadnoughtus? Just throwing their lives away. Oh, dude. I always forget about the gene gun. Holy crap. I'm an idiot. Oh, that's one right there. Oh, that's just a level 10 though. Dang, I was just gonna walk right by that one. Pick it up. Yes. Just out here massacring stuff. Rock Elemental's tanky as fuck though. I don't like it. Finally found it. This is the clip that got my tribe mate banned. Oh, nice. I'm surprised that you're able to actually put up links like that. I could have sworn my bot is supposed to not allow that. This clip does not exist. Not trying to hack me over here, are you, Twisty? Yo, these things take forever to kill. This is ridiculous. Hacking the crap out of this dude. Bop. Bop. See, now I'm all worried because Twisty dropped me that link and then it didn't actually say anything. It said the clip wasn't there. And I asked if he was trying to hack me. And then they didn't say anything. And I'm just going to assume that I just got hacked. That's going to be sad for me. Okay, well, I gotta deal with whatever the hell just happened. Okay, metal is at least a legitimate site. That doesn't really mean anything. Get rid of that message because I don't know where that actually goes to. I mean, honestly, it was dumb that I was clicking any of the links you were putting up there anyway. There is no reason to be clicking links that people you don't actually know put into a Twitch chat. That's how you get hacked. I honestly can't believe that my bot is even letting you put links in the chat. It's not supposed to. Maybe I turned it off or something for somebody at some point and never turned it back on, or I don't know. But I'm not going to click it. Okay, can this stupid golem please die? Yeah, I'm still not going to click it, Twisty. Honestly, the fact that my bot is even letting you put up links is disconcerting. I have a bot, and it's supposed to be blocking links. There's an auto moderator on Twitch that should do it. It just, at current, is apparently not working. I don't know if I turned it off at some point or what, but I'll look back into it after stream is over. So, like, I wanted to kill this thing so that another one would maybe spawn, but this is only a level 10 rock golem. And this is gonna take, like, all day. Yeah, I have no idea. I'm a freaking kaiju, man. Die. You teeny tiny little golem. Look at you. You don't even come up to my neck. You're a little baby. So I did try spitting a cannonball at it, but it's too close to me right now. And so I need to, like, get a little bit away from it to do it. I don't know. We'll waste all of them. It has the kaiju breath. I don't have any element on me, or I'd show you. It's got the kaiju breath. Godzilla! I've seen it, just never thought kaiju. Oh yeah, no, that's the first thing that came to mind. That's the first thing that came. But I'm gonna need this rock golem to go ahead and die. This is becoming less entertaining by the minute. Am I maybe not hitting it? Maybe I need to tail whap it? I was tail whapping it earlier, but... I don't know. I also love that it strafes. It's so cool. Yeah, what? Little whap. Tail whap. For real, for real. I mean, that's why I want one. Or two. 10. I mean, they're super good because you can't breed them, so they have to be, you know, viable even without the option to mutate. Please die. For the love of God, just die. Ooh, that's interesting. That's really interesting. I think Dimorphodons are an underrated cave defense too. Because they'll just tear shit up. That's why I'm raising some. Dimorphs shred everything. Trudon good for knockouts, yeah. Yeah, I don't think we nearly do enough with creatures in our defenses, just kind of in general. Most bases I see only really have active creature defenses. We have to like be riding them and stuff. Holy crap, that was like a 20-minute fight to kill that stupid thing. Now the other one is actually behind me again. Isn't this magical? Stop pooping. We got places to go. This isn't a bathroom. Can you not walk up this tiny little cliff? You suck. this thing is. What level it's even gonna be. Rolling down the street, smoking indoors, sipping on gin and juice. Laid back. Perlovia good in caves too. I mean, taken over by the Reaper, but you ball drop of Perlovia running walls becomes very difficult. I didn't really think about that. I always thought it'd be fun to get a bunch of Pago Mastics or Ichthyornis and have them, you know, because you've got wall runners, but they mostly run in with nothing except their armor and then either some C4 or a rocket. And so if you had a bunch of Ichthyornis or something like that, and one of them was able to get a hit in, they would just take their weapon. And they wouldn't be able to do shit. I always thought that would be hilarious. Just running in, losing rocket launcher after rocket launcher. But not as slow as fuck. Is it right there? Level 45? Well, I don't want to level 45, but I don't want to kill it either. Seems awful. Let's try shooting it with a cannonball while it's not awake. Yeah, you have to like hit it from a certain distance. I don't know. Kind of annoying and complicated, honestly. Run away. Only thing I don't like about the multi-tribe life is everything becomes so sweaty. Oh yeah. Want to see Dodo Army sent in. Think give him a server just to see it. Yeah, I would like to see. There used to be that person. I think they were. I think they passed away. But there was a content creator who used to do a ton of stuff with dodos. They used to make like weird. Yeah, I understand that's how you're supposed to tame them. I just assumed if it was going to be a one-hit knockout, that I'd be able to just do it. Like, off rip. Fucking get them. But yeah, it's just not quite working out the way I wanted. Also, this is very hard to aim. Oh wait, is it asleep? No. I'm just not even hitting it right now. I don't even really understand what's going on here. This has been less entertaining than anticipated. I am, in fact, mildly annoyed. Let's just go ahead and rile this bad boy up. Recently injured. Alright, we're good. We're good. Okay. What's your fave underrated? It's got to be the Dimorphodon. For sure, for sure. Ever since I saw Captain Fat Dog's video about the Dimorphodon turret, I've been pretty obsessed with Dimorphodons. I think they're easily one of the coolest creatures in the game. What about you? What's your favorite underrated team? Mine's got to be the Itchy, early water tame, so quick. The Ichthyornis, or Ichthyosaurus, is a pretty good tame. I used to tame them a lot. When Crystal Isles came out, I was always using them. That's kind of when I played MTS. So I'd get on MTS on Crystal Isles and go run drops with them. They were extremely useful. Extremely. But we've been on for about 3 hours. I think it's about lunchtime, and I really need to use the restroom. So if y'all give me just a couple of minutes here, I'm going to go get some food in my face, and then we'll get back to it. I don't know exactly what we're going to do, but we'll think of something. Alright, we back with our warmed up tortillas so that we can have peanut butter and jelly tacos. A little bit of baked beans. Finally warmed up a little bit today. Warmed up a little bit yesterday, but it got all the way up to 50 degrees today. So my peanut butter is finally not like frozen solid, which is super dope. Because it was getting pretty hard. That FH or CEL? I don't. I don't know what either of those things mean. Oh, Fahrenheit. Yeah, yeah. No, I live in the United States. Despite the fact that I grew up in the age of the internet, I still forget. Um, I have no problem remembering that there's like metric measurements and metric volumes and stuff like that for distances and stuff. And so when somebody says like kilometers or says a distance, I always remember to think, I wonder if they think kilometers or miles. But for some reason, in my brain, there's only one temperature measurement. 2 Celsius in Wales. Ouch. Bummer, brother. Yeah, we were getting down to like 5 or 6 degrees Fahrenheit here for a couple of days. Actually, it was like for a week last week. That's finally why I took those 2 days off. Was the first day was just too cold, and then the second day I had stuff to do. But we're finally starting to warm up. Hopefully, that was the coldest it's going to get this winter. And the rest of the time, it'll stay in the high teens and maybe 20s. And I'd be all right with that. I don't mind. I don't mind below freezing temperatures, but I'm really not happy about those super cold temperatures. Single digits is no bueno. It only snowed like one time 2 or 3 weeks ago, and it hasn't gotten warm enough for the snow to melt, so the same snow has just been on the ground for like 3 weeks, and it's been driving me insane. Like, just melt. Just get warm enough to melt. So I thought that I could deal with the heat because, I grew up in a desert. And so growing up in the desert, it was always super hot, but it was a super dry heat. And so, you go in the shade, you get a little wet, you sweat a little bit, and you're fine. No problem. Now I live in Illinois where the humidity is like 87% in the summertime. And back home in the desert, it'd get up to like 115 degrees and I'd be totally fine. But here at, 87, 88% humidity, 86-degree weather makes me feel like I'm going to die. I hate it. Humidity sucks. That's really what I'm getting at. Hmm. I really don't like precipitation in general. I would prefer for all of my water to stay in the lakes and oceans and for it to just be nice and dry on the land. That would make my life better. I don't know why physics has to work in such a way that all the water from Earth's surface has to float up into the sky periodically and seed clouds and then rain down on top of us or snow down or hail down on top of us. Like, what a weird system. Rain is the weirdest fucking system. Well, and so see, I love being out on the water. I love swimming. I love, I love going out on boats. I love being on the water. The water's great. I just don't want the water to be saturated